Unlike the NBA, which is divided into the Eastern Conference and Western Conference, the NFL is divided into the National Conference and American Conference, or NFC and AFC for short, with there being 4 divisions in each conference: North, East, South, and West. Members of each division play each other twice a year, so it is important for them to be close so fans of divisional teams can visit their games. An example is the NFC East, which is comprised of New York, Philadelphia, Washington, and Baltimore. Oh wait, no, that cannot be right because Baltimore is in the AFC. So Carolina, I mean other than Tampa Bay, it's the only other team on the East Coast and it's bordering Washington.
What the fuck?
And then the AFC East, which has New England, Buffalo, New York, and Pittsburgh.
Oh, I don't think so.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that? What is that?
Okay then, so if Pittsburgh isn't in the AFC East, then the AFC North has Pittsburgh, along with Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Indianapolis, right?
Wrong.
That is absolutely
Wrong.
proved over and over again.
Wrong. That just makes no fucking sense. I mean, it's just bullshit.
No, not you. I have no problem with him. Don't get him involved. You were looking at me across the gym, man. I was doing calf raises.
Yeah, Indianapolis is in the AFC South, along with Houston, Jacksonville, and Tennessee.
What?
The only divisions that make sense geographically are the NFC North and the NFC South, although Tampa Bay is separated from the rest of the NFC South by Jacksonville, and the NFC West and AFC West are just. The point is that the divisions in the NFL
Just make no fucking sense. Fuck.
Now, obviously it would be sacrilege to take Dallas out of the NFC East, as the rivalry between the Cowboys and the Redskins, Giants and Eagles is sacred, and the Dallas fanbase is large enough so that there are plenty of Cowboys fans at divisional games. However, if you wanted to fix the divisions so they would be more geographically balanced, but remained in the same conference, then this is how the divisions would look. The NFC would remain the same, except Carolina would replace Dallas in the NFC East and Dallas would replace Carolina in the NFC South, because
That just makes fucking sense.
and the AFC would remain the same, except Baltimore would replace Miami in the AFC East, Miami would replace Indianapolis in the AFC South, and Indianapolis would replace Baltimore in the AFC North. Because
Science!
however, if the NFL wanted to adopt the NBA format of East and West, then the divisions for the East would look like this, and the divisions for the West would look like this. However, if you want to go by the traditional North, South, East and West divisions, since the United States has the proportions of a horizontal rectangle, and has most of the population living in the eastern half of the country, you would have to start in the West and work eastwards. Since there are only 7 teams in the western states, either one of Dallas, Kansas City or Minnesota will have to be the 8th team in the West. Let me explain to you why Dallas is the 8th team. Not only is Dallas the 7th most western city in the NFL, and is further west than Kansas City and Minneapolis, Dallas also has 5 counties in the western states, whereas Minnesota only has 1 and Kansas City has 0, as well as the fact that Dallas borders 2 western teams whereas Kansas City and Minnesota only border 1. So yeah, these are the teams in the western divisions. Kansas City couldn't be in the south if Dallas is in the west because that just wouldn't make any
Fucking sense.
So KC would belong in the north along with Minnesota, and heading eastward, Green Bay, Chicago, Indianapolis, Detroit, Cincinnati, and Cleveland make up the teams in the north. And for the south, starting with Houston and heading eastwards, New Orleans, Tennessee, Atlanta, Tampa Bay, Jacksonville, Miami, and Carolina, which make up the south. And the rest are the teams that make up the eastern divisions. These teams are Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Washington, Baltimore, Philadelphia, both New Yorks, and New England. Now that we have the regions established, we can divide them into each division. For the West, Dallas, Arizona and Denver would have to be in the same division, and Las Vegas would theoretically be the 4th team. However, since there needs to be an LA in each conference, the Rams would make up the 4th division. Oakland, the other LA, San Francisco and Seattle would make up the other Western division. KC, Minnesota, Green Bay and Chicago would make up one of the North divisions, and Indianapolis, Detroit, Cincinnati and Cleveland would make up the other North division. Houston, New Orleans, Tennessee and Atlanta make up one of the Southern divisions, and Tampa Bay, Jacksonville, Miami and Carolina make up the other South divisions. the East would theoretically be divided like this. However, since there needs to be a New York in each conference, one of the East divisions would consist of Washington, Baltimore, Philadelphia, and the New York Giants, and the other Eastern division would consist of the other New York, Buffalo, New England, and Pittsburgh. These divisions are mathematically perfect, and now we have to create the conferences. There are 16 possible conference combinations. However, the most balanced conference combination I could find is this. The new AFC is the conference with the most former AFC teams, and the new NFC is the conference with the most former NFC teams.